Students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am broadcasting to you live from Budapest, Central Europe. I hope everybody is doing great. Hi, Warda, Alward. Hi, Pachuk. Hi, Kyber. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. As usual, our materials come from our websites, aehelp.com for academic IELTS, and for general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots of great material for you. We have 6 full practice exams with audio, not just for the listening, but also for the reading and speaking sections. We also have a fully interactive course and over 100 hours of video lessons. The websites look like this. This is our academic IELTS website. Click that big red button to join our premium package. And for general IELTS, look for the green background at gieltshelp.com. Click that red button to join there. Okay, lots of students joining in. That's great, fantastic. I hope everybody is ready for some speaking tips and practice. Hi, Francesco. Good to see one of our members joining in. Francesco, I don't suggest doing a simulation exam every single day. That was a good question. Francesco, I remember, just asked, should I simulate an exam every single day if my exam is 1 month from now? So that means doing 30 exams. No, students, it's not a good idea to just do practice exam after practice exam after practice exam. When you're maximizing your learning efficiency, students, make sure that when you do a practice exam, you mark it. You have somebody mark it for you as well, maybe a teacher or a friend who speaks good English. Get feedback, review your mistakes, work on those mistakes, and then try a practice exam. Too many students think that you can improve quickly by just doing one exam after the next. It's not true. So Francesco, it's more important to get feedback on your mistakes after you do a practice exam. Correct those, fix the mistakes, improve on them, and then do another exam. So ideally, you're doing a timed IELTS practice exam once every 2, maybe 3 days, not every day, okay? All right, so students, again, this is a speaking class, so make sure you repeat my sentences, repeat the questions, repeat the answers, okay? So lots of repetition. It's very important for improving your English. Pay attention to the corrections that I give. Again, students, we are increasing the classes on this channel. So from this week, we will have 3 members classes. So from tomorrow, we will have a members class. I'll show you that in just a moment here. So today we're doing speaking part 1. Classes are 15 to 16 o'clock Central European time. Okay, so that's CET. Tomorrow, the 11th, we will have a class from 13:30 to 14:30, so 90 minutes before this class. That will be a members chat class, a speaking part 2. So members, get ready for these extra classes, okay? Make sure you're present. I saw Amardeep in here as well, and we have roughly 100 members now, so make sure to sign in. Eunice, send me an email if you get that error code. I'm not sure if you're trying to sign up on the YouTube channel or on our website, so just send me an email, Eunice, and I will reply to it. Okay, yeah, I saw that you sent one, Eunice, so don't worry about it. I'll check it out. I'll get back to you. All right, and then tomorrow, after the members chat class, we'll do a class for reading. We'll look at a passage from our exams, and of course, everybody can chat in that class, okay? Again, on the 12th, you'll notice we have another members chat class from 13:30 to 14:30, task 2, and then we'll do another class for everyone, which is listening strategy. On the 13th, Saturday, we'll do again a members chat class. Members, make sure to send in your requests and then finish the week off with a writing task 2 for everyone. All right, students, let's get to speaking. So Speaking takes about 12 to 15 minutes of your life if you do the test once. And you will be in a private room with a native English speaking examiner who will ask you a set of questions. They will also give you a little card with some questions on it as well. Okay, stay calm, stay confident. Remember that the examiner has no idea what your English level is. Okay, they're there to test you. You're a number to them. Think about them like your grandfather, grandmother. You're comfortable, you're confident, you're loud, you speak in full sentences, okay, students? All right, let's warm up our English speaking muscles. So let's just start with some warm-up questions, and I'll get into some more tips and strategies as we go along. So examiner questions, part 1. They will ask you for your identification, usually your passport, another national ID that has your picture with it. And then they will say, what is your full name? So let's get at it, students. What is your full name? Answer this for me, please. What's a good way to respond? Hi, Preeti. Preeti, remember all our members classes this week, so make sure you make requests and join in. Okay, Francesco says, my given name is Francesco. My family name is Brunetti. Please call me Francesco. It's always a good idea, Francesco, to let them know what to call you because that's their next question if you don't tell them. Okay, hi, Rahul. So make sure you include that, Francesco, okay? You might as well get the jump on that question. All right. Eunice, notice Amar Deep's message to you. That's a good idea of how you can become a member on the channel, okay? And my given name is, my family name is, please. Okay, so that is one way to do it. It's a good way. Get that out nice and smooth, okay? Jakirul Amin says, my full name is Shah Mujahid. You can call me Mujahid. Amin, that's good. Okay, that works. Kyber says, my last name is Momand and my first name is Kyber, so please just call me Kyber. That works as well, okay? So, again, students, make sure that you are ready for that question. You have a good, smooth answer. All right. So the examiner's goal with the first 2-3 questions is to make you feel comfortable. Okay, they're icebreaker questions. So one very common question they will ask you is, do you work or study? Make sure you have a good answer for that question. Do you work or study? Try practicing different ways to answer these questions, not just one way, so you sound natural. Okay? So, do you work or do you study? Answer this question for me, students, and I'll write up my first tip here, and this is a very important one for the IELTS exam these days. Tip: you must sound natural, and you must not sound like you memorized the answers. Okay. Here's something interesting, and I heard this from many students, and there's a very strong agreement that when the IELTS examiners think that you're giving them memorized answers, they will decrease your score to 6. Okay. All right. Sevgi, currently I'm not working. I've graduated about 6 months ago. Ever since, I've been studying for IELTS to pursue my master's degree abroad. Sevgi, very nice use of present perfect in your answer. Good use of contractions. In speaking, practice those contractions, students, like I've, just as we saw Sevgi use that. So I have, I've, okay? So again, students, you must sound natural. You must not sound like you memorized answers. If the examiner feels that you are giving a memorized answer, especially in part 2, they will drop your score to around band 6. Okay. Sometimes they'll even ask. I've heard students say that the examiner asked them, did you use this answer before? Or did you memorize this? So the examiners are not shy. They've actually gone the distance of asking now candidates, did you memorize that answer? So they'll put you on the spot. So make sure that you're using different ways to answer these simple questions. Okay. Amardeep says, well, I'm still working at McDonald's as an assistant manager, but I'm planning to go abroad for my degree in computer applications. Okay, Amardeep, good. Where are you planning to go, Amardeep? United States? Britain? Canada? Okay. So, it is important to practice a variety of answers so that you, in order to sound natural. Okay. So students who are watching these lessons regularly, especially our members, obviously you're watching these regularly, make sure to practice different ways to quickly, correctly, naturally answer these icebreaker questions. Okay. All right. Rahul says, currently I'm not only working as a senior engineer in the automotive industry for the past 4 years, but also I'm preparing for the IELTS in hopes of doing a master's degree in Canada. Okay, Rahul, I did a couple of corrections there for you. Make sure you take note of those. Okay. Tina says, I'm both... No, where did Tina go? Tina says, I'm both an IELTS student and a housewife. Last month, I left my job as an accountant to study because I have plans for higher education and improvement in my quality of living for the rest of my life. Tina, you have a good start. Just the end of it, you want to clarify what you mean. I have lots of plans for the rest of my life. That just comes across very general. So you're always reaching for clear, coherent communication. Okay? All right. Medical surgery, Diana, is okay. It's okay to say medical surgery. Sure. That's an okay collocation. It works. Yes, I can't read the Cyrillic underneath Amir's name, but you should use collocations in a higher level English speech. Absolutely. All right, students, let's go to the next one. So again, remember this tip. You have to sound natural. You must not sound like you memorized answers. If the examiner feels that you memorized answers, especially part 2, that's where a lot of students seem to have memorized answers, they will know, they do pick up on that, and they'll drop your score quite a bit because they don't know what your real ability is if they feel that you're giving them memorized answers. So you have to sound natural. So especially in this first part, make sure to practice a variety of answers. So okay, so here's my answer. I'm going to use a different correlative conjunction. I did notice, students, that some of you used I'm not only, but also. Again, correlative conjunctions are really nice to use in written and spoken English, so good for you for remembering that, all right? I'm using a different one. I'm using both and. Okay, both and is another nice correlative conjunction to emphasize your ideas. So repeat after me. Again, students, remember repetition. Repetition is Very, very, very important, okay? So here we go. Repeat after me. I'm both working as a dental assistant and I'm studying for this IELTS exam as I've been dreaming of going abroad for higher level education in the UK. Okay, and I just threw in that present perfect contraction. I've been dreaming. It's a nice, not only present perfect, but you notice that it's with been dreaming. So it's a present perfect progressive grammar. So right away, showing the examiner that, hey, I'm comfortable with complex forms of grammar. Okay, so that's great. All right, and then maybe one more icebreaker. Here we go. What did you do this morning? Okay, what did you do this morning? So answer this question for me, students. What did you do this morning? Pay attention to the tense, all right? Pay attention to the tense. This is past tense, so you have to answer in past tense, okay? All right. Igor Ugelmi says, while considering I've been working as an ESL teacher, I do a little bit of both, but I'm mainly working as a private teacher, which has been giving me much more confidence to pass the IELTS exam. Igor, that's a really nice answer. Good for you. Amandeep says, well, as today I have my interview, so doesn't. Okay. Let me see that, Amandeep. So you're answering the current question, Amandeep Singh. Well, as today I have my interview, so I didn't do my usual daily routine. Which is waking up at 6 a.m., eating a light breakfast. However, today I just drank a cup of coffee, which helped me be energetic. So, Amandeep, you have to really pay attention to grammar, your tenses, and you have to make sure you have clarity there. So what's your usual routine versus the activities that you did this morning? Okay. Uzbek Vlogs, just send me an email and then I can help you with that question. Okay. Eunice says, I woke up around 10 a.m., washed my face, had 3 boiled eggs for breakfast. Then I did a speaking interview to prepare for this part of the test. I did a mock speaking interview, Eunice, to prepare for this part of the test with one of my friends. Okay, so Eunice, maybe finish that idea. Who did you do it with? Your friend, your brother, your mom, dad? So give me a little bit more there, but otherwise you're on the right track. Okay. Priyanka Sharma, good to see you. So Priyanka says, confined to my job, I followed my, it's an interesting way to start it, Priyanka, confined to my job. Confined to my job, I followed my daily routine. I prepared breakfast for my family, then I had a cup of tea and got ready for my job. Oh, just a second, students, I'll get you back. Priyanka, make sure that you use got, okay? So again, you don't want to make those verb mistakes, okay? You want to be very careful with the verb mistakes. My camera decided to do a little snooze, just give me a second there. Okay, but otherwise it was good. So Priyanka, all of your verb tenses were good, except for that last one, okay? Yeah, that's my daughter. She's just a baby there. She's a bit bigger now. All right. So I'm going to give an answer for this, and then we'll move on. So, well, I woke up around 7 a.m. as usual. Then I did a bit of yoga to stretch my arms and legs before eating a healthy breakfast, which consisted of eggs, bacon, and orange juice. Afterwards, I reviewed my notes and did a bit of speaking practice with my younger brother in preparation for this interview. Okay, so notice the way that I'm joining my words together. Notice the fluency, not just in the actual ability to say these ideas, but the fluency in the way that there are these leading expressions of time like then, before, afterwards, which really makes my communication streamlined for the examiner. So repeat after me. Again, students, I want you to repeat as much as possible, okay? So, well, I woke up around 7 a.m. as usual. Then I did a bit of yoga to stretch my arms and legs before eating a healthy breakfast, which consisted of eggs, bacon, and orange juice. Afterwards, I reviewed my notes and did a bit of speaking practice with my younger brother in preparation for this interview. Okay? So keep those in mind. Bonus question. What is the natural way that many native speakers will say orange juice? Anybody? What's another way, or what's a different way that many native speakers, especially in US and Canada, will say orange juice? Anybody know? Pachu says fruit juice. Inaja Alves, very good. Yeah, OJ, just OJ. All right. So you'll often hear native speakers say bacon and a glass of OJ. Okay. So I'll give you that. Glass of OJ. Very good. Inaya. Very good. Okay. All right. So glass of OJ. Just like that. Okay, so a tip, students, is make sure to sound fluent, not just by speaking at a natural speed, but also by focusing on using good leading expressions that help make connections among your ideas. Okay? So that's very, very important. Now, we'll get into a little bit of talking about numbers here. But here's an important tip or strategy, because I see a lot of students are struggling with this. A lot of students have questions about this. So I want to shed some light. I want to shed some clarity on intonation and natural fillers. Okay? Intonation and natural fillers. So what role does or do natural fillers and intonation play in getting a high IELTS band score? Okay, that's the question that we're answering here. So there's a lot of confusion around this. A lot of students think that if they take breaks when they're responding to the questions that are being asked by the examiner, also, if they use natural fillers, like, well, I suppose, then their mark will go down. Okay, this is not true. Okay, so natural fillers And just for those students who are not familiar with this, words like hmm, well, and breaks in your speech are absolutely okay and even recommended as long as they are natural. So the problem is often, students, that it's not that the students are using natural fillers like and it's that they're not using them naturally. Okay? So you can't take breaks between words that make your intonation sound strange and robotic and sounds like you're thinking about what you're going to say. That's awkward. Okay? That's awkward. That's not natural. English has a natural flow, a natural intonation. Okay? And a natural way to use fillers. We use that to help our brains think before we speak. Okay? So the question then is, how can you practice using natural fillers naturally? Okay? Any ideas around that, students? So any thoughts around how can you learn to use natural fillers naturally? Okay, what can you do? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Yes, Alvin, this is real time. I think there's a couple second lag between me and everybody watching, but more or less. Okay, so Francesco says by practicing, right? So you can practice your use of natural fillers and intonation. Absolutely. So how? So what kind of practice? What kind of practice can you do? Okay. Watch lots of YouTube videos and so on, sure. Now, the best way is copy people who have different kinds of intonation, of course, native English speakers, and who use natural fillers. Who do you think are people that use natural fillers that are native speakers and that you can copy to learn how to do this in a natural way? Murasa says copy movies or watch movies, but here's a little bit of a better tip, Murasa. Yes, Kilola noticed that I use natural fillers and take breaks as I'm thinking of what to say to you. Not only am I thinking of what to say to you, but teachers like myself also take pauses to construct different ways of how to say information. So absolutely. So teachers are good, but there are other speakers. So watch native English speaking public speakers in TED Talks, for example. Politicians, innovators like Elon Musk. Okay. So these types of shows, like what you see in TED Talks. Now, of course, in TED Talks, you have an international group. So try to focus on people who are native English speakers in TED Talks, okay? Politicians that are doing speeches as well, they are always doing a lot of thinking while they're giving a speech. You can watch innovators like Elon Musk. So again, go for those native English speaking innovators that are famous. Some of the older videos by creator of Apple, Steve Jobs. So some of the older videos by Steve Jobs as well. So these kinds of speeches that are given by these public speakers, you'll notice their intonation and their use of natural fillers is very, very effective in their presentations, and that's what you want to do. That's what you want to copy, okay? So again, TED Talks, look at videos about politicians giving speeches. And again, students, when you're doing this, it's okay if you don't understand every word that they're saying or if you don't understand all of the information. The goal is to copy them, okay? Use subtitles when possible. Lots of great YouTube videos on this as well. Yeah, so Maria Myron, absolutely. Speeches by Obama, speeches by other presidents as well, okay? Movie series are not the best for this kind of practice, okay? The reason why movies and TV shows are not the best is because they're scripted. And scripted movies usually don't have natural fillers. You'll notice that. Movies in this way are somewhat unnatural in TV series because they're scripted. They don't use natural fillers, okay? So you want to use materials where people are giving speeches in real time, where it's not pre-recorded and not completely scripted, okay? Those are much, much more synonymous with your IELTS exam. Okay, students, so let's practice a little bit of this. All right, talk shows are great, Munzir. Talk shows are a good way to do this as well. So let's talk about numbers. Okay, let's continue with part one. The examiner, after the icebreaker questions, will say, all right, now we'll ask you some more questions on a general topic. Let's talk about numbers. What is your favorite number? And of course, they might ask you why right away, or if you don't answer, then they'll ask you the why question. So let's go for this one. What is your favorite number? Why? Give me a nice answer for this one, students. Okay. USB Creations, 13, fantastic. You will not get a lot of band scores for just saying a number. Okay, you need to tell me at least a bit more in your response. All right. Amandeep Singh says, to be honest. We don't say to be true with you, Amandeep. That's strange English. I've never heard a native speaker say to be true with you. So to be honest, in school, I always chose number 7 as my class roll number, and I considered it as lucky because I enjoyed that part of my life a lot compared to the rest of it. Okay, Amandeep, notice my corrections. Amardeep Singh says, starting with a natural filler. Okay. Alvina says, well, I believe my favorite number is 7. For example, I passed one of my hardest exams in university on the 7th of July. So then it made me think that this was my lucky digit. Okay. Pure luck? I don't know. It's a little bit of a weird way to finish that, Alvina. Okay. Akash Kundu says Cambly is the best option, I guess. Cambly's a good piece of software for sure. We're partnering with them all the time. All right. Victor Siniavani, my favorite number is 77. Again, give me the reason, right? So indicate your reason, Victor. You have to say why it's 77. You could say my favorite number is 77 because 2 7s are better than 1. And it was also my number as a football player all throughout high school, and at which time I was the most valuable player, scoring 3 goals a game. All right, Priyanka says, number 7 is my favorite number because some of the happiest moments of my life are related to the number 7. I got married on the 7th as well. The birthday of my son is also on the 7th. So Priyanka, a little bit more clarity in your examples. Otherwise, it's quite good. Okay, so a little bit more clarity in your examples and nice, smooth flowing examples there as well. Okay. Amardeep says, actually, I am partial to the number 1 because I want to always be the first, for instance, the best student in class in college. Okay, Amardeep, that's good. Just a little bit more explanation, so a little bit more detail to your response to add clarity. Okay. All right. So Although most people consider the number 13 unlucky, it is most fortuitous for me, as it was my team number in basketball all throughout high school and college, during which time I not only enjoyed the sport, but shot many incredible and at times lucky baskets. All right. Not completely true, ladies and gents. My number was actually number 9 in high school basketball, but for the sake of contrast, I just used number 13. So a complex sentence with contrast, starting with although. Again, students, repeat after me. Although most people consider the number 13 unlucky, it is most fortuitous for me, as it was my team number in basketball all throughout high school and college, during which time I not only enjoyed the sport, but shot many incredible and at times lucky baskets. Okay, so again, students, you know I'm always pushing you for that higher level of English expression and vocabulary, so that's why I'm teaching you the word fortuitous, coming from the word fortune or fortunate. Okay, it's another way to express luck. So fortuitous, showing you how you can have a little bit of fun with this, giving contrast. Again, practice your adjective clauses, okay? At which time I not only enjoyed the sport, but also shot many incredible and at times lucky baskets. Okay, so increasing the complexity of your sentences using those conjunctions and using adjective clauses will definitely bump up your IELTS score. Okay. All right. Baskets here, Andrew, means actually shooting baskets, so goals in basketball. All right. Okay, students, if I miss your response, don't worry. There's 260 of us in here. I'm always focusing on keeping a smooth flow in the class as well, but don't be shy. Keep writing, keep commenting. I try to switch it up and catch different people at different times, so don't give up, okay? Keep throwing your comments out there, and I'll get to you eventually, okay? All right. So let's get to the next question. What numbers do you use often? Give me a nice answer for this one. What numbers do you use often? All right, so what numbers do you use often? Onisim Lonut says, if it comes to using numbers, mostly I utilize either 8 or 10, owing to the principle of perfection asserted by them. Okay, Onisim, it's an interesting question or answer. It's a little bit, the question's a bit unclear, right? It could be answered in several different ways. And you gave me a clear answer of sorts, so I would take that as an examiner. 8 or 10, 8 being the number of God as well, I believe, and 10 being 10 out of 10, so perfection. It made sense, okay? All right. Gur Simran Singh says, I often use the number 3 because it is my favorite number. Like when I'm playing the lottery, I choose the number 3, 33, and 30. Okay, all containing the number 3. So Gur Simran, that was good. Just make sure to include a smooth flowing example of how you use the number 3 often. Okay. Farouk Ahmed, very good. That was the other way to think about this question, and you did a really good job. So Farouk Ahmed says, when it comes to numbers, I think The numbers I use most often are phone numbers to call my friends and family. Absolutely. So numbers that are contained in your address and phone numbers that you dial are numbers that you use often. Okay? Pachu says, I usually use the number 220 most often because it is connected with my ID to open social media websites. Very good, Pachu. Okay, that's exactly the kind of answer that we're looking for. So let's take Pachu's there. So again, different ways to answer this question, but you've had the right idea. So I usually use the number 220 mostly, yeah, because it is connected to with my ID to open my social media accounts. Like yesterday, here's Pachu how you can include that smooth flowing example. Okay, Pachu? So this is how you can do it. Like yesterday, I must have typed it at least 5 times when opening Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Okay, so something like that. All right, but very good. So I usually use the number 220 mostly because it is connected with my ID to open my social media accounts. Like yesterday, I must have typed it at least 5 times when opening Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Aside from that, phone numbers and my address, 44 Street, 125, are also frequently used in my day-to-day life. Okay, again, don't overspeak, students. I'm just giving you a nice, robust answer here, but you want to be definitely very, very careful not to overspeak. All right, let's take one more. The food frame. I love it. The food frame says, being a chef myself, I have observed and noticed that there are a majority of 4 ingredients in many dishes, which particularly fascinates me. So I very frequently find myself using the number 4. Okay, the food frame, good. Just make sure that you're clearly answering this. What numbers do you use often? Okay, so use the number 4. Amardeep Singh says, actually, I often use my credit card CVV number 321 while shopping, not only at local shops, but also online on an everyday basis. That's a great answer, Amardeep. Just I really hope that that's not your actual CVV number. You should not share that anywhere. I'm guessing not because it is 321. So, okay. All right. So good job, students. So far, so good. Let's keep going. Which numbers are important to remember? So here is the next question. Okay. Still all speaking part 1. Which numbers are important to remember? Give me a nice answer for this. I'll give you a hint. To get a high IELTS band score, try to paraphrase parts of this question. Okay, so it's another tip. This is an embedded tip here. To get high IELTS band scores, paraphrase elements of the question. So pay attention to which words here you can paraphrase and do that in your answer or in your response so you can get a higher band score. Okay? All right. So, which numbers are important to remember? Bibi Noor says, well, your mother's birthday. Bibi Noor, careful. Not your mother's birthday, but my mother's birthday. Bibi, don't use the word your or you in the IELTS speaking or in the writing, okay? It's awkward. So you're not memorizing my mother's birthday. I don't think you know when that is. You're memorizing your own mother's birthday, right? So not our wife's birthday name is, but my wife's birthday. Okay, so yourself, speak to yourself. Harminder Dinsta, good to see you in there. Don't retract your message, it was fine. So memorizing your own phone number. So that's very true. Even though many people do not memorize their own phone numbers these days, it's just in their phone, it is important, absolutely. Paulinka says, well, definitely my bank card and my credit card PIN code are important to memorize. Why? Okay, so why? Tell me that. Always include the reason for your answers, students, even if it seems intuitive. Okay, so some students will think, oh, well, everybody knows why we have to remember our credit card or bank card number so we can access cash. But you should explain that. So even if you have a feeling that the examiner knows that, you should still explain that, okay? Aida says, although thanks to technology, we don't really need to memorize phone numbers of our friends or families, I do believe that we ought to memorize the most important ones, such as our parents. Yeah, absolutely, Aida, I agree, okay? Eunice says, a short list of emergency phone numbers like 911 for contacting the police or fire department are extremely important to commit to memory. Okay, commit to memory, Eunice, is a nice way to explain that. Okay, well, there are a few different sets of numbers that are vital to commit to memory. These include emergency numbers like 911 in case of trouble, as well as bank card and credit card PIN numbers that are needed to exchange and use funds. Okay, so there's my answer. Notice the paraphrasing. So again, a tip here: to get nice high IELTS band scores, you really need to paraphrase, okay? So, well, there are a few different sets of numbers that are vital to commit to memory. So vital means important for life. So it's a very good paraphrase. Vital signs, like when somebody has a heart monitor and you see on the TV, it goes beep, 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 beep. That's their vital signs, okay? That's called a vital sign. It's the sign that shows you're alive and it shows your heartbeat. So vital, remember that word vital, repeat. Commit to memory is a really nice expression, which means to memorize or to remember, all right? Now, I used the word numbers here. It's numbers here. Is there another way to use the word, or is there another word for numbers? Could I say something else other than numbers? I've used it before. Hassan, it's keep in mind, and that's a little bit different. You have to be careful with keep in mind, Hassan, because keep in mind could be misunderstood as being considerate if you're not using it exactly right. So careful with the keep in mind, although it's not bad. Okay. Figures is okay, Aidana. An even better word than figures, because figures is more for mathematics. In this context, the word digits are better. Okay, there you go. Tahura, Ikrar. We thought about it at the same time. So again, repeat after me, students. Well, there are a few different sets of digits that are vital to commit to memory. These include emergency numbers like 911 in case of trouble, as well as bank card and credit card PIN numbers that are needed to exchange and use funds. Okay, all right. Good job, students. Let's do one more. Are you good at math? Why or why not? All right. There's a fun question for everybody to answer. Again, focus on nice full sentence answers. Try to paraphrase, express yourself, include those smooth flowing examples. Okay. Murasa says, yes, I'm an expert in mathematics. It's my favorite subject in primary as well as secondary school. That's why most of the time I win math competitions. Like last month, I won $500 in the IYMC. Good for you, Murasa. Just notice those couple of corrections in your response. Rahul Singh says, yes, sir, I am good at mathematics. Not only did I get 92 out of 100 in math at high school, but also I've been teaching my nephew and niece for their exams who are currently pursuing the 9th standard. Okay. Rahul, it's a nice answer. Use present perfect. I've been teaching. I have been teaching my nephew and niece. Okay, so I've been teaching. Remember, students, it is important that at one point or another during the speaking interview, you show the examiner that you can use present perfect, you can use past perfect, you can use conditional, you can use progressive form of verbs. Okay, so a variety of verb use correctly is important for those higher band 7, 8, 9 scores. Okay. So Singh Kaur, if you want to get 7 and not just 6, keep that point in mind. Okay. All right. So, let's see. All right, I'm going to give an answer here. Are you good at math? Why or why not? I'd have to admit that math is not my strong suit. I have struggled with it since childhood and was always at the bottom of my class. If I have a tough math problem to solve, I either consult with a calculator or my older brother, who is a genius when it comes to arithmetic. Okay. All right. So there's my answer. I gave a -1. Repeat after me. So I have to admit that math is not my strong suit. I have struggled with it since childhood and was always at the bottom of my class. If I have a tough math problem to solve, I either consult with a calculator or my older brother, who is a genius when it comes to arithmetic. Okay. Again, students, notice a couple of important points in my response. So it really doesn't matter if you're good or bad at math. Here, it's an English exam, so English is what you need to excel at. The expression strong suit, so it means that you're good at it. It's not my strong suit is very commonly used in this negative way, meaning that it's not what you are good at. Okay. I have struggled with it since childhood. So a nice complex sentence using a subordinating conjunction of time. All right. Bottom of my class, again, it's a nice expression. Using a conditional, if I have a tough math problem to solve, I either consult with a calculator, so either or, another correlative conjunction, or my older brother who is a genius when it comes to arithmetic. Arithmetic right away shows the examiner that, oh wow, this person not only knows the word math and mathematics, but also knows a very nice synonym for that, which is arithmetic. Okay. Cup of tea, Igor, and strong suit are not exactly the same. Strong suit is specifically what you excel or what you're good at. Cup of tea means something that you like, okay? And you're not necessarily good at it. So math can be my cup of tea, and it's still not my strong suit, okay? So I can still have fun with math, but not be good at it. All right. So students, that is part one. Now, when you get to part two will be a card with some questions on it. They'll give you a minute to read the questions, and then they'll give you 2 minutes to respond. Here's the card. Talk about a time when you had to do a big cleaning. You should say when was it or when it was. What did you have to clean up? What did you use to clean? How did you feel about it? Would you do it again in the future? So a cue card asking you about a time when you had to do a big cleanup, some big cleaning. Now, this is the question that we will look at tomorrow for our members chat only. Of course, everybody is welcome to view at 13:30 Central European Time. All right, so thank you so much, students, for your participation. Again, if you have questions about IELTS, our programs, our premium package, membership, just send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. That's my name at aehelp.com, academicenglishhelp.com. This is our general IELTS website where you can join our premium package by clicking that big red button there. Or this is our academic IELTS web portal. You can click that big red button there and join us there, students. That's it for me for today. Practice lots. Remember these important tips about sounding natural, not like you've memorized your answers. To sound natural, use natural fillers and also paraphrase parts and elements of questions to get those nice high IELTS band scores. Okay, so tomorrow, 13:30 Central European Time, members chat class for speaking part 2, followed by an everyone chat reading passage. So make sure to tune in. Thank you so much, members. Thank you so much, everyone, for participation. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Remember, you're born with the ability to learn languages, not just one, but several. So keep it up. Believe in yourself. We believe in you. Practice lots. You will reach your dreams and goals. Bye for now, everyone.